Alright, so as in most of our other videos, as far as tissue release, you're probably thinking, what the heck are they doing? So this, I found, I've had very, very, very tight deltoids, especially front and middle delts. And for kettlebell sport, to me, since I have more muscle than your average Vic. Anyway, so what I found is a way to turn off that tissue instead of just rolling the ball against the wall, which I still will do. But so basically, you have Jason Riggs here, who just did a bunch of long cycle training this morning, and oh my god, I can't even talk. He is holding on to the band up top, which is turning off. Let's come around here, turning off the delt. Now it doesn't have to hold the shoulder as tightly in socket as it is rubbing against the wall. So while he's holding on to that, he's taking the bar, and you can see we've got some plates to hold it, and he is taking his tissue into and kind of wedging it right, and especially this is going to give it that overhead position that we're looking for. And here is where I find a catch from my delt. When I'm overhead, it feels like there's a slight little shift or a little impingement. So, I've spent so many years trying to get larger shoulders for bodybuilding and whatever. Well, that's not very good, very conducive to doing good kettlebell overhead work, especially with kettlebells being so close together overhead. You have to have an incredible range of motion for that. So, Jason, what do you feel? Don't just say pain. We're not looking to hurt people. This is, if you have tight tissue, it's the same thing as people that once you've used a foam roller, once you've used an alpha ball or massage tools to loosen this up, this is just another tool. Do you feel this can help loosen up some of that tissue for you?
Oh yes, I feel there's a spot in here it's loosening.
You notice as you roll a little bit, now you're not trying to kill it. We're not trying to make the tissue sore, and definitely not any numbness or anything like that. But if you understand, and this isn't for beginners, by no means is this a beginner, but look at the angle that he's getting his arm to. This is very hard to get this tissue to loosen up, especially if you're trying to go for overhead stuff. So this is probably the best way. Now, let's see. What do you feel now? Any difference?
Oh yeah.
See, I mean, he's way more flexible overhead than I am. I feel that by doing this, I can get rid of my delt impingement by having more mass there. When I try to lift my arm, actually, do you mind, maybe I can film in a little bit of this. I've combed my beard. It's luxurious now. So, I can do different angles. I can even get reared out if I want to. But the biggest thing is getting this in the right spot and allowing this to not, if I try to do this and I try to push into this, that tissue's on. So, if I go underneath it, and I can do it from this side, and lean onto it, the tension is gone from the tissue. So now I can work with it a little bit better. So I can change here, I could grab this band, if I was ever tall enough to reach it, and I can lean onto here. As soon as I relax it, then I get what I'm looking for. And I can rotate a little bit. I can change the angle. Hold on to that bar. I'm working on my rear delt and tricep now. Because if I hold it up and try to do this, all this whole structure is on to support my arm in the socket. So, I'm leaning on a tight muscle already. Now what I can do is just hold on to there. I can relax that, and here's the only muscles that I'm really using. So now this is off. I can find the angles, I can relax it, and I can loosen it up much better. I can do this for if I'm trying to do bicep. I don't want to lift my arm into like this. I'm going to turn it over. So it's off. And I can activate the tricep and loosen that tissue and get some of that. But the biggest thing I think is that wedge. Grab under here Get in the spot that I want to.